Be sure to hop on over to the Spiritual Broadcast Network. It's the go-to place for all things spiritual. You'll discover internet television shows that you won't find anywhere else. You can also choose from hundreds of hours of spiritual documentaries and movies. You'll enjoy on-demand and live internet television programming 24/7. Best of all, we add new dramas, comedies, talk, and reality shows and more on a daily basis. So why spend countless hours searching the web when you can quickly find just what you want on the Spiritual Broadcast Network?
Thank you for tuning in to Shift Happens TV. Join us each Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time as we take you on a metaphysical journey. Be enlightened and entertained as we take you through life, love, and beyond in an inspiring and humorous way. Live your life with no regrets and die laughing.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Shift Happens, where we enlighten, entertain, and shift consciousness one show at a time. Well, we try to anyway.
Yeah, we do. It's all good.
We're very excited today that we do actually have an in-studio guest.
Yoo-hoo.
Yay, I know, we're like so excited about that.
Absolutely.
We're your hosts, Connie and Martin Jordan. I'm Connie, obviously, metaphysical comedian and author, and Martin, my
Good
esteemed
evening.
husband, is, well, you're a hypnotherapist, psychic, medium, past life regressionist, intuitive life coach, and available for private sessions over the
Absolutely.
phone and in person. And we are in Sarasota, Florida. So, and we're excited about having a in-guest.
In-house guest.
That's it.
In-studio guest.
There you go. That's why we need two of us, because together we're about one brain.
What else am I? Especially today?
Musician.
Ta-da!
Singer-songwriter.
Singer-songwriter.
Yes. But before we introduce our guests, I wanted to go over some of the things that we have coming up. Oh, no. No, I don't know, maybe. I may have to have some rules with dealing with musicians. Just saying. And I'm kind of outnumbered. God, too much testosterone in here today. But I think I can handle it.
I don't have any testosterone anymore.
Whatever.
Little boobies.
Anyway, October for us, we're coming up on the 5th annual International It's All Good Day on October 22nd, which is the day that our son, Andrew, made his transition home, or has passed away at 16 years old, 4 months after leukemia diagnosis. And in order to shift that day for us and to make it not as traumatic, we declared it our son's favorite saying, which is, "It's all good." So we're asking everybody to join us around the world in celebrating International It's All Good Day by having the attitude of no matter what happens on that day, to say it's all good. It's free, it's easy, it's just, smile at somebody you wouldn't normally smile at, hold the door open for somebody instead of letting it shut in their face. Let somebody in traffic even and smile, and just say it's all good. We are going to actually have somewhat of a party. We always have a welcome home party for Andrew every year, and we'll be at Starkeeper in Sarasota, downtown, on October 22nd. I think it starts at 6:30 to 9:30. It's an open mic, but we'll be there and we'll have cake, and I will actually be doing a reading of a poem that was written for Andrew and read his journey home. Martin will do some songs that Andrew has given him since he's passed. So it'll be a great night of open micers and join us in celebrating our son and his magnificent life that he had while he was here for 16 years. So on Facebook, it is facebook.com International It's All Good Day.
/ international. Is that what you changed it to?
I don't know. I don't think you actually found the way to change it. Put it in the search, you'll find it.
Or go to facebook.com / Shift Happens TV.
Oh yeah, there's an idea.
We'll put the link in there.
And then our next event that we're going to be doing is October 13th at Gaia in Bradenton, a fairy workshop working with the Fae 101, how to connect with the elementals in your yard. We have had a tremendous success with that on the East Coast, and we've had one class here. We're getting really great emails that people are having a lot of fun connecting with the elementals in their yard and how they're getting help from them and all that. So we'll be in Bradenton for that. But to get our full schedule, just go to Pure Heart Space, spell out space, SPACE.com, and you'll get all the information on everything that we do and offer, where we're going to be, and all that.
And this show should be up there tomorrow.
Okay.
On
Now,
the homepage.
I'm going to let Martin take over to introduce our guest. And, I'm sorry, Roger, but Martin has another man crush. And he's in studio. I know. And you know what, Dean? Roger gets very embarrassed as well. So. I mean, it's no big deal that I have crushes on both of you guys, but the fact that my husband does. So, Martin, I'll let you introduce.
I don't know where I was going to go with that.
You
start
just
out
threw
with
us off.
check one. Just for having a musician on the show today. Yeah, I met our guest today a while ago at a
music store. Guitar Center, Sarasota
I didn't meet
Guitar
him
Center.
there, but I was asked to do a singer in the round.
Okay.
By Scott Cook, who owns Sarasota Guitar Company, another great guy, and with a guy called Dean Johanesen. I said, okay, no problem. So I go down there and we do it, and it's that's how we all hooked up. I think the first time though, did Jeremy and I go out?
Yes, it was just you and Jeremy went to the singer in the round.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
They didn't ask me to do the show at that time.
That's right, you went.
To go listen, I went and listened to them. And in my head, I thought I did. Of course, in my head, I also think I'd done a concert with George Jones.
All kinds of fun things going on in that head.
And I opened for that Australian country singer. What's his name again?
I don't know.
Anyway.
Oh, Keith Urban?
Keith Urban, yeah.
Oh, in my head, yeah. Okay.
And he stole one of my songs.
I was backstage at that one.
Oh, absolutely. Well, Dean, I forgot to bring your bio, so we're just going to bring you into the show.
Okay,
and,
that's good.
Because the bio was all about it looks like you're going to be changing that, or you need to change that real soon.
Yeah.
To cover what you're going to be doing.
And the solo stuff.
The solo stuff. So
yeah, because you're still part of a band.
Yeah, the human condition is still alive and well. We're kind of finishing out the rest of this year, and then I've got the opportunity to do a little bit more solo work. So I'll be pursuing that and releasing a solo record and touring behind it.
Well, we had been, Martin and I both, being rather psychic, we saw that for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Without a doubt. From the first time that we saw you performing wherever it was, if it was Starkeeper or wherever, we thought, this guy's, we're like, he's a part of a band, really? Yeah, because the solo, we really enjoy your songwriting, and you're a guy that needs to be out there out front. Mm-hmm. Your band's good. Nothing against the guys in the band. Yeah, because we enjoyed them too.
No, yeah, it's a good group. It's just it's definitely a different format when you can have the opportunity to kind of strip things down and kind of connect with an audience on a personal level.
Yeah.
Just the guitar, just the voice, just the story and the song, and that's it,
And I think what I love about your band is that, because everything kind of evolves. And I think, like, even with your band, they're evolving as well. Yeah. And everybody understands that sometimes, you have to go your different roads, and maybe they'll come together again. Right. And I love that because, I hate when you hear about bands, especially when you see an American Idol, that one of the guys gets up front and the other band might resent it. Yeah. Like Steven Tyler.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they got annoyed at him because they didn't tell him he was going to audition he was going to be a judge in American Idol.
Yeah, but they're back together now.
What people don't understand is they've been friends since they were kids.
Yeah, they were young when they started.
Yeah, and they were pissed. Yeah. Even you didn't tell us.
Yeah.
And it's like it was a whole we've been friends since we were kids thing. It wasn't a music business kind of argument. It was just like
a more of a personal
level.
Yeah.
And I think that's how Stephen explained it. It was just kind of cool. It's like because he didn't tell him because the studio told him not to tell him.
Yeah.
It was a secret.
Nobody will see you on the American Idol judging.
Absolutely.
The guys in the band, they don't even watch that shit. They'll never see it. It's all good.
Yeah, that's right. That's what they're...
Yeah, it's all good.
So now you were just recently signed, and when Martin and I heard that, we were really excited for you.
Yeah.
I think all the local musicians were really excited for you.
Yeah,
There's such great talent here.
I've been really fortunate with everybody. I mean, from the band to the people that I knew musically, and it's definitely it's weird. I think in your head you're like, why was it me as opposed to this person, or that person, or whatever. You go through that whole process, and then you just go like, I gotta focus on this and make this happen and make the best of it, But the support from everybody, from the band members to local musicians, everybody's been really supportive. So it makes me feel good because it's it's a heavy thing to like take in when it happens, and there's a lot of work that goes on with it, and you don't want to like leave your folks behind, your friends and fans, and I always consider the fans more family than fans or anything like that. It's like you meet people and you establish these relationships with them, and you want to continue that.
Well, I like that about you because I really did want to get to know you and your music when I met you, and you were open to, remembering a person's name the next time you sing them, you know, that kind of thing.
I definitely try.
And it was like, so there was a connection there.
Yeah.
And I just think that's kind of cool. And even with the other members of the open mics, like Rick Quimby and Joe Bonfiglio, or Joe B, and Bill Vinage. We're still not sure how to pronounce his name.
I think that's right,
Vinage. And I think because we all sort of hang out at the same, do the same things, the same open mics and stuff like that. And it's like sort of being together and supporting each other.
It was really great for Martin and I, especially after everything we went through with Andrew. And I told Martin, I said, wow, the singer-songwriter community here in Sarasota is so great.
Yeah.
Just because of the love and support amongst each other, you know, and I just have really appreciated the musicians just being so kind to each other, you know, just the fact that
not judging what we do. You know, because we get some looks, as you probably know. And
but
I want to we let everybody know every show we don't care.
Yeah.
You know, you're wasting your energy. But when it was almost like, you know, with people coming out, like another one of my favorite guitarists, got to hear him again last night, Brian Spanhauer.
Oh yeah, Brian's
phenomenal. He was on last night.
Yeah.
And because I don't even know when he's off sometimes.
Right.
It's always off tonight. I'm
Does
like,
that happen?
Really?
That's an off night? Okay.
Show off.
Must be nice.
Must be, right? But sort of people like that, and then other singer-songwriters opening up about some of the music that they've written. Yeah. And it's a bit sort of metaphysical, a bit spiritual for them, and changes that went on in their life, and they feel free enough to talk to me about it. And I think that's kind of that's really cool. Like Joe B's "Wherever You Go," he said was written with Connie and I and Andrew in mind.
Oh, cool!
I love that song too. I didn't even know it was about us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
And I remember the first time he wrote it, he showed me the words of it, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know,
Yeah.
it's about someone being with you all the time.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think that was kind of cool because Joe writes some mean song. I like his work, and but for you are one of the hardest working singer-songwriters I've ever met in my entire
Well, you know,
life.
and here's the thing, as a lay person that maybe can play kazoo and tambourine and lip sync, air guitar. I don't even think I can do air guitar.
You have the voice of an angel.
Sure you can. Yeah. Air ukulele, it's popular these days.
Right. You know, an air bazooki.
I rock those. But, you know, as a lay person, just seeing how much you give to the singer-songwriter community, you know, that's what I'm like. I was really shocked, you know, about how, because I mean, you have your own stuff that you do, you're part of a band, but you still gave to the singer-songwriter community when you can.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, and you know what you've done, and I think this is why you're the first one in as far as the group that we've seen in Sarasota to kind of be able to get out there, is because you have given so much, you know, to the community.
Karma.
And you have shown people how to do that, you know, there is no lack. You know, we understand that there is no lack, but you have so freely given at the open mics and setting it up and been there for people that have been difficult.
Let's say short of stellar.
Musicians. Let's just say my kazoo would have totally rocked it and done a couple of nights.
You'd have been hearing us calling for you with the kazoo.
Even with some of the voices that, you know, it's not the norm because there's so many phenomenal musicians, but there have been nights that I probably could have shined singing. And you have always been so kind to people that have pushed the envelope a little bit.
Yeah, I take everybody for who they are and where their level is at, you know what I mean? Because everybody's a little bit different. I just like seeing people get out and perform and make that, you know, like especially the first timers or people that have been really nervous.
Oh, hasn't that been great watching them blossom?
Who was that singer that you talked into singing? I think it was right before you handed over.
Sean.
Yeah,
my friend
wow.
Sean. Yeah, and he came out and did one tune, you know.
Blew me away.
Yeah, he did
Beautiful
great.
voice.
He did great.
And
he's a firefighter and just an awesome guy. And, yeah, he's great. So I was really excited to see him come out.
And I was like, if Dean's talking you into singing, you can sing.
You know, like even with Joshua that we call Seal.
Yeah.
To watch, I mean, he had such a beautiful voice, but you could hear the nervousness. But the fact that he kept coming out to the open mics, and what I love about doing this show with you now, it's coming to me, is the fact it's a way to get people promote local talent, support it, get to these open mics, because it's not just Sarasota. There's open mics going on all over the country, and the untapped talent that are at these open mics. You know, you need to get out there and start supporting your local musicians or your creative people in the creative community in your area. And we've seen it. It's been so phenomenal to watch someone like Joshua. Like last night, he got up. Right, today's Tuesday,
Yes.
And he's just so he's just so much stronger, and because you can see that. But going to an open mic, it helps these people that have the talent but are nervous, and they get their sea legs. And I you've seen it more than we have, but it is so cool to see them come in
and
blossom.
And another one's Taylor, the waitress down there.
Yeah,
she's gotten up the last three.
I still have not seen her sing.
The last three open mics.
Yeah,
she's gotten up and done a cappella.
Yeah, wow. That's awesome.
And it's because you just keep driving them. It's like, come on.
Keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Now, I know for you, Martin, you've always had inspiration and have been singing songwriting. And I'm sure, it's like with comedians, like they say, comedians are born, not made. Because, somebody asked I was at a Vegas comedy festival, and somebody asked, how do you know if you're a comedian? It's like, if you have to ask. Because I've tried not to do comedy. I have tried not to do it.
Right.
I am comedy's bitch.
Yes.
Just like you are music's bitch. You know that because you cannot not be a musician.
Yeah.
And I've seen that with people that have tried to deny that part of them.
Mm-hmm.
And because somebody that they were with didn't want them to pursue the music. And I said, not going to work.
No.
It's not. And of course, when they get back into the music, because it's who they are, the relationship falls apart.
Yeah.
It's something, it's part of your soul and something, your heart. It's a way of expressing yourself. And I know Martin has been fascinated. Is it just the one CD? Because I know the songs that, like Mr. Delaware and a few of the other ones that you have written, the inspiration behind.
Right.
And because I would love to take a look, because you went to go write about one thing, and then it took you on a whole other journey.
Yeah. I mean, that's letting the song do the work and not, I think, and I picked that. I read a book called Songwriters on Songwriting by Paul Zollo a long time ago, and he interviewed like 100 different songwriters, from Neil Young to Paul Simon to all these different people, and everybody had a different method and a different process. And Neil Young talked a little bit about having the antenna up and picking up on something, and just being open to it, and then also not trying to, once you're open, just staying open to whatever inspiration that you're getting and letting it kind of guide you along instead of trying to force it into
it's a flow.
Something. So.
And I remember Dylan saying when he was interviewed, I think it was Time magazine. We're talking later on in years, Dylan.
Right.
Completely jaded Dylan.
I do a great Dylan.
Where he's totally out of body now.
He makes me do the alphabet like Dylan. I have to do that in open mic.
Yeah, and
open
Tom
mic,
Waits.
yeah.
And Tom Waits.
Okay,
I do that one. Not for long, but
no. It plays very heavy on the vocal cords.
Yes.
But Dylan was asked that question, and he said that all of the songs are out there.
Yeah,
you just have to sort of pull them in.
Right.
And he said that none of them are his. None of his.
Yeah.
He's never written. He doesn't own any of his songs.
Yeah, I understand that feeling. Definitely feeling like that, because especially after you've written the song, like in the midst of writing the song, you're kind of crafting it, putting it together, and then when you're done, it's like you've played it out for a couple of years, all of a sudden you're a little fuzzy on the details of how you managed to pull it together.
Absolutely. Although it was very important at the time, afterwards it's not there anymore.
Well, we were discussing before the show, how does music or whatever have to deal with our show with shift happening? And so we were discussing is that, music is so spiritual and metaphysical, on how it affects people. And how music has shifted consciousness.
Angels play harps.
Well, I was watching The
Irish
Voice.
drink harp.
Wow.
Coincidence? I think not.
Anyway, but even on The Voice,
Hey,
they're Irish. It's allowed.
Irish angels.
Right.
Yeah.
Say no more.
But on The Voice last night, there was a singer, and she got to sing in front of Christina Aguilera, and she got to tell her how much one of her songs helped her through a very difficult time in her teen years.
Yeah.
So I mean, it does. The music is such.
You don't know why you're writing it. It's just it comes out. And
I envy people like you that you have this amazing gift to be able to write these songs that can move people, that can touch their soul or their heart or get them thinking.
Yeah.
Or even if it's just getting movement, because even body movement, dancing, even that, there's something very tribal and soulful about that. Yeah. I think it's amazing, and I think it's people like you and the folk singers and these open mics now that people are getting back to just the guitar and the voice and the singer-songwriting kind of thing, because that's I think people have kind of lost along the way when they started digitizing everything, really the connection of how important music is for our soul. And I think it's really cool at these open mics. I mean, all you have is a man and his guitar.
Yeah.
Or the drum, or because and then it is very tribal, because you have Rick Carl that will play the drum along with, or you add the mandolin, and it is or not. Just saying, or not. Dean, I'm just smiling. I'm just smiling.
That comment was for Rick Quimby and Joe B.
Represent. Right, and Dean said, "I'm just smiling."
Was it Colonel?
I wasn't there.
I know nothing.
I just let them go on. I smile.
Yeah. No, but seriously, there is. You do find that everywhere you go anyway, in any kind of genre, even in the psychic business, like with the musician business, you're going to find temperament, and you're going to find artistic temperament, and everywhere that you go. And one of the things that has really struck me about you, it's almost like you don't know how good you are, and how you affect people with the music.
Yeah.
And if you do, grats, you hide it very well, because
I know that's an art form in itself.
Because you don't have that temperament that, and a lot of the people that we know, singer-songwriters here in Sarasota, don't have that temperament. Like, they're willing to share, they're willing to do all of that stuff, and it's like, but there's some of them that we've seen coming around.
Well, they're always.
It's almost like tuning the guitar like this. It's like,
really?
what you should.
Really?
What tuning are you in? Oh, I don't know.
Right.
But it's about the majority of the people, because because we're human, we find it. Because like even in the work that we do, being in the spiritual community, people are like, "Well, I'm just shocked." This, that, and whatever goes on. I'm like, it's just like high school corporation. Yeah. I said it goes on even in our world or genre, or whatever you want to call it, because you're dealing with human ego, and at some point. But if you have the majority that get along and that are there for the highest and greatest good of everybody there, that weeds out the other people.
Yeah. So I was wanted to talk to you also about Train in WOA Records.
Yeah.
That have signed you.
Yeah.
And I was listening to his show.
Was he excited? Okay, when we first met Train at the Hub.
Yeah.
He was talking to everybody. He's with me. He's with me. Here's my card. You're going to want to listen to this
awesome.
guy. I know, it's so funny. I was just like, whoa, coffee, espresso.
A lot of energy from that guy. And it helps. I mean, it helps.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, like you're saying, like, I've never been that guy. I've never been a personality type person.
I don't, I admire people like him because I couldn't. I guess sometimes I can be that way. I know I'm animated, but I don't think I'm.
No.
No.
Because I can't go up to strangers. If I'm in a comfortable setting, I can be that way. But he was up, and I just thought, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish I could be that.
And he definitely is. He's somebody that kind of. It's nice to have him behind you and believing in what you do, because if he believes in you, he's going to help you. He's going to promote you. He's going to, he's going to help you out. I mean, he's become a really good friend. Even beside the personality, like in personal dealings, it's like you become part of that family. They've really established a business model that's family based.
I love that,
and I do too. And I don't think I would feel comfortable if it wasn't that way.
No, but I think the emergence of the new singer-songwriters. There's some really phenomenal singers or songwriters such as yourself coming out now with messages and with things to say. You know, and it's sort of buried, couched in our attempted rhymes.
Right.
Harry Chapin. And I think the energy of that is, I've noticed as I've been watching it, and psychically I'm picking up globally, that there is a resurgence of the Neil Young and the Bob Dylan era.
Right.
With people coming out, we have messages, things are not right out there, we've got things to say. And it's starting to, but you're getting record labels now starting up that are, everybody's going independent now, because that's the way to go. It's like, even we notice with the publishing, self-publishing is the way to go, because you promote, because if a major publisher picks you up, if you're an unknown writer, you're not going to get anything.
Yeah.
At least you have some control as a self-publisher over the amount of money that you make.
Sure.
And especially with going with independent publishers for your CD, you can make more money probably doing that over the short haul than you can going with a major label.
There's pros and cons.
They're going to take the
and all
lion's
that.
share anyway, And it's like, well, I was listening to Train's show yesterday. Train's on the ball when it comes to stuff like that.
He really is.
And I was listening, and he mentioned you, because he was talking with some other singer, can't remember. Their song was in Me, Myself, and Irene.
That's right.
Independent singer-songwriter.
Oh, Ellis Paul, yeah.
And making close to, Train was saying, $250,000 a year.
Yeah.
Just doing
For
his
being
thing.
an unknown.
Just doing his thing,
Yeah.
working on
Well,
indie
not
labels.
bad.
And because he was trying to say that as a singer-songwriter, only 2% of the people who get these major record deals actually make it.
Right.
But the ones that are going indie are making a very good living.
Well, that's just it. You know, like somebody said to me even about the comedy, you
Yeah.
know, this is years ago. And, you know, she thought that making it meant that I would be a house. I said, no, making it means that I'm supporting myself.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't have to say super salad. You know, to me, that's making it.
Right.
You know.
Did they pay us for that plug?
Talk about branding. Everybody knows that. I don't have to say anything else. But I know, I think we should be playing his, you have a video that
Yeah, we're going to start
brought.
looking at that
Yeah.
around the half hour. We got 5 minutes left.
Okay. Well, give us a little bit about that song. Because that was in a movie, right?
Yeah, it was one of my favorite songs when I listened to it. I
It's
mean,
so pretty.
when I first started listening to your music, it was like Mr. Delaware. Oh, that's my favorite song.
I know when you were on
never-
Studio 10,
Yeah,
Mark's
yeah.
like, Delaware, do Mr. Delaware. Because he's got to do Mr. Delaware. Is he
Because-
coming back on
Yelling
after
at the
commercial?
screen.
Oh, we DVR'd it and everything.
Because I said,
Tim was with us and he goes, calm down, Martin.
Relax, guy.
but the funny thing about that is, though, when I'm looking at something like that, you told the story one time of Mr. Delaware.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say anything more about it, but at some point in that story, you burst my bubble. You know, it
Oh,
was
really?
like it didn't happen. And I'm like, dude, I believed the story of where you said the song
Well, I
came
mean,
from.
it did, in a way. You know,
Yeah, you know.
I'm sure that there's, I mean, you know, there's got to be a
Unless you're-
son out there who didn't live
Absolutely.
up to his father's standards.
That
and-
became a kangaroo boxer? Come on, man, you're narrowing the odds now.
Well, you know, the kangaroo boxer represents these other things that the son
Yes.
wanted to do. It's all
Exactly,
But
like a
just
metaphor.
yeah,
Hello.
The symbolism. Come on.
Right.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? You don't get the symbolism?
Get him, Dean, get him.
But it was funny when that happened. I was like, oh,
I thought that was true, you liar.
what about
How
the stories
dare
with all
you,
your
sir.
other songs? They're all lies.
Well, I mean,
you know?
even when we write stories and stuff, I mean, because we'll take something that we'll see on TV, and I can see how people can create storylines or books or novels because, when we've been with friends, we just start adding to it, and I'm like, whoa, this is how, because you wonder how people come up with some of the stories for TV
Yeah.
shows or whatever,
Yeah.
but especially like, for South Park.
Right.
And a few others, but
Based on a true story.
when you're with your friends and you're brainstorming, you can it starts taking on a whole life of its
yeah.
own, and then you start. So it's the same thing with songwriting.
Yeah.
That something inspires you. There's something that started off
It's
that
like
you probably saw.
It's like
and
a
then,
crystal. It needs to be seeded, and once you seed it, then it just grows from there exponentially. And I think it's really cool where some of the stories kind of come together. Like my song, the herpes song.
Right.
It's not like I had herpes.
And now, thank you.
Oh, you didn't?
No. Oh, did I lie to you too? I'm
Totally. I feel so lied to.
See, he feels lied to because you've never had herpes.
Now I don't mind that I've shaken your hand, though.
Anyway.
He had Scott now instigates him because you're not there at the open mic. I forbid him to sing that song, and then Dean will
Scott,
instigate.
it was pretty funny last night. Scott was like,
Herpes song.
but he was trying to hide himself from Connie
So he
and Nancy,
didn't show
his
up.
wife, at the same time.
Because Nancy's got my back. Thank you, Nancy.
That's awesome.
But it was kind of funny. I said, no, Dean's not here. It's like I don't do If I Had a Boat, but I love it when
Right.
Rick's there because Rick
Right.
does a great version
That's
of it.
his-
Yeah, I love the fact when he did the herpes song when there was a table of 12 older ladies, and I could just and I'm
No,
looking at them, and
you
they're
know,
all going.
That's the only time to do it, you know? You just say that.
All right. Now, he takes credit for this, and let me, we really probably should explain the herpes song really quick before Godspeed. Great segue.
Awesome segue.
I was asked to
This is
do.
live television.
At its best.
It is. I was asked to do a stand-up thing at a new sports bar down in Port Charlotte, and I thought, well, my metaphysical is not going to get their attention. Because, I know my genre. A sports bar is, people aren't going to get my material, So I thought, okay, I was on the treadmill. I thought, what am I going to do? I have to come up with something to get their attention. So Valtrex commercial came on. So I told Martin, "Hey, you got to write this parody." I said, "I'm going to get up there in the sports bar and go, I have herpes." And I said, "And then you're going to lean over and go, but I don't." And I said, "And then you can say," and then we say whatever the tagline was in the commercial, "and then you're going to sing your song."
Yeah.
Well, I never got
and
to
I said, "What song?" And she said, "The one you're going to write."
Now you have homework.
Yeah, well, that's the way it is.
Every time I say to him, "I got an idea," he goes, "What do I have
Here we
to
go.
do?"
What do I have to? It's either Photoshop or I've got to write something. You know,
So the irony of it all, I never got to do it.
Oh, you didn't?
No.
I never got to. Yeah,
But
I
you got
don't.
a song out of it.
but got a song out of it. Yeah.
That torments me to this day. Thank you.
One of those songs that when I got to the end of it, I was really, really proud of myself. One of those songs that I go, wow, I can write parody, man.
That's not easy. Writing
No.
funny songs is not easy. At
Yeah.
least I don't think it is.
And that's and
No.
actually my comedy act. The best part of it is the parodies.
Well, that's how we grow up in Ireland. I mean, Ireland, it's all about that. She'll tell you, we get together with family. It's just the tears running down. And my sister Chris, or my cousin Christine comes over. And it's like Mystery Science Theater watching any movie.
Right.
You know, and the
Commercial.
worse the movie, the better.
Yeah.
We start ad-libbing and throwing stuff in there. And my sister Anne-Marie was over for Andrew's service. And there was Anne-Marie and Christine. And the two of us, and it was bedlam. It was...
So yeah, Ireland's going to be a lot of fun in November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But talking of the song, Godspeed, I first heard it, and you explained the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
And it kind of struck me as, yeah, that's a good fit, you know, for a show like this or any kind of a show like that because of the inspiration behind it. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll go to video because we have a video of it, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it if that's okay.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Roll the tape.
There's a time and a place for everything. Bring me to the space that knows. Give me the wisdom to deliver the force and power, or the patience in the hour of need. Godspeed. I've been waiting for this moment, counting on the countdown. I'm not the one protesting. I've been ready since I sat beneath the stars. Not because I should, because I want to. And I'm not afraid of leaving. I'm scared of the pain if I have to stay. I've been waiting for this moment, counting on the countdown, yeah. I'm not the one protesting. I've been ready since I sat beneath the stars. Oh yeah, beneath the stars. We are light, that's what we are. And like the stars, we are freed. I'm coming home, Godspeed.
And we're back.
We are?
We are.
Okay.
Now, That movie, because I was watching a video. That was in a movie, that song.
Yeah. That the footage there was shot by my friend Brad up in Atlanta during the tour, but then the movie was picked by a guy named Steve Titone for a movie called Beautiful Noise. I can't remember how I met him. I think I did a fill-in part as a band member at the end of this movie, the end of this scene, and I had given him a CD after the shoot, and said if he needed any soundtrack stuff, to let me know. And he took to Godspeed, and then wound up having like 3 songs in the film, and then wound up doing the incidental guitar work for the movie as well, where I would sit with the scene. We actually would watch it on DVD, and I would take my Zoom recorder and record a guitar piece to whatever was happening.
Right.
And then we would figure out what worked and what didn't, and I would just kind of go back and forth with him. Mm-hmm. And so I got to write that guitar work, and then he had characters sing the songs within the film. So I wound up having the song Last Dance, Godspeed, and then one called Backroads all made it into the movie.
Oh, cool.
So that was like my first experience. And I think that was kind of a change for me in like the way that was a little bit of a new way to write songs. I think that's where a little bit where the circus play came in, a little bit of the songs about Colorado came in, because I started thinking in terms of visuals and storyline and dialogue. And so then I could take a real story and like, how would I approach this as a soundtrack piece?
Yeah.
And write music to something that I was seeing in my head a little bit more.
Well, because that kind of brings up Devil's Thumb.
Yeah.
Which, great visual.
Yeah.
And that song.
Yeah, I was hoping I would capture that. Like I was.
That was phenomenal.
Wanted to.
Yeah, it's a great tune.
Thank you.
And again, you kind of got me now going, I wonder if that story's true.
That one's 100% true. 100% true.
Now, what's that one about?
That one, I did a trip into Colorado. I stayed there for about a week, and we were in Winter Park, just outside of Denver, and there's an outcropping in the rocks called the Devil's Thumb. And just with going to different places, I'd like to find out a little bit of the history behind what is there. Like I'd like to go to museums, and I'd like to read.
Oh, we do that too. We like that.
Yeah, it's great. So I talked to one of the locals, and he was telling me that the Devil's Thumb was a pass that the Native Americans used to use to get out of Winter Park before the winter would hit, because Denver is a little bit easier winter than Winter Park was. Mm-hmm. So they would go over this pass at the Devil's Thumb, spend the winter in Denver, and then they would come back over.
Right.
So that was kind of the beginning of it, and then we took a river tour, and there were dinosaur tracks on the side of this mountain. And,
wow.
It's like Devil's Thumb and the science and dinosaurs and all that stuff was kind of in my head when I started writing that.
Yeah, it's a great tune because the words are kind of good, and again, they come out at the end of it with subliminal messages. Good messages, good positive energy. That's what I like about your music. It's all positive, and I liked it as well because Devil's Thumb, and you wrote it in a minor key. Which is really cool.
Well, those things are. I mean, that's the detail work behind music where you think like, okay, this, that should be A minor instead of A major. That
Absolutely.
Should be D minor. Like you make
because
those
you've
choices.
done it yourself. You've sang certain songs, and you've done it because I've done it myself. I've written it in G, and I'll sing it, and then I'll do it in E minor, and go, whoa, changes the whole tone of the song.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, okay, I get it now. It's one of those things. But when it's the minor chord with Devil's Thumb, I mean, it's a great. It's a jiggity jig song.
Well, I know my granddaughter loves your music too.
Oh yes, yeah.
She's a sweetheart.
Yeah, she is.
She really is.
Because now, how many CDs do you have out? Because I know the one that has a lot of. Is it a
do
lot
you have
of
any
circus
for sale?
songs?
Because I never see you selling any.
Well, I
giving them away
because
train.
He hasn't helped me with his CDs are going to be for sale.
Yeah, he sounds. Where's he from? Long Island.
I'm not giving anything in the way of that.
He's a New Jersey boy or New York
I think
boy.
because I was doing so many of the open mic things at Starkeep, I don't ever sell anything at open mic. I don't try and push my own music at open mic. I just kind of really try and.
See, that's the things I was talking about. Is promoting everybody who's there. That's what you do.
That's the job. I mean, as the host, is my job to just make everybody sound good and get them comfortable and make sure that they're happy and let them do their thing. My show is my thing, and that's when I do my.
But you produce it. You produce an open mic. You just don't show up and sort of be there. You actually produce it.
No, you promote it and you invite people out, and you try and encourage people that are just starting to kind of get out there and do it. You know? So
now the one CD that has a lot of I don't know, again, on the circus stuff? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yes.
That wound up being just an EP.
Okay.
The intention with that one was I was hoping to have the record done before we went to South by Southwest last year,
Right.
and we didn't. And we recorded 2 records pretty quick for South by. Like we did a live at Zen recording.
Right.
We did 5 songs in the studio, like primarily live, and then the next year I wanted to go with something new, you know.
Yeah.
And so we started tracking for the circus record, but the full idea behind that wasn't really accomplished, and I have it in my head a little bit better. I've got
Right.
some ideas about that, and I've got some songs that are being finished for that record. So that's kind of going to be, and we tried the digital release on that one with the
Right.
sticker, and I think people were kind of hot and cold about that. You know, some people have embraced the digital age and some people just haven't.
Yeah.
So that's another concern. And actually, I would even like to go back with the circus record, being as it's about a time period of the 30s, and actually release it on wax. I think it would be
That'd be
awesome.
nice.
You know what I mean?
Because
That
I
would
know
fit.
when we had the friends that came to the open mic, I think about Anthony and Eddie and the cousins and all that, she got one of your, was it the sticker? She loved your music.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because you did it. Because I think that night you did like 3.
Yeah.
Because now that's what is interesting about all that. Because it was, were you watching Water for Elephants, or was
No,
it?
well, the first, I read Water for Elephants. Actually, the first song I wrote in that vein was Circus Queen, and I hadn't read Water for Elephants at that time. I had seen my aunt, who I hadn't seen in like 20-something years, and she was always this powerful figure to me, you know, like kind of a little scared of her in all honesty. And
We all have aunts like that.
Yes,
right.
we do.
And I remember this story about her running away to join the circus when she was a little kid. I mean, back when she was little, I mean,
Right.
that was kind of a thing that people would actually think about
Yes.
doing, you know. And then at the same time, we had some drama in the band, and we had this old guitar player. We had this, so I turned the circus, my aunt and this guitar player, into this character called the Circus Queen.
Right.
And
See?
I wrote the song behind it.
Like Medina.
But it was
Right.
But I mean, it was like it was kind of true about who those 2 people
Right.
were
Absolutely.
combined. And then I found out there was an actual Circus Queen after the fact, named Lillian Litzel, that performed
right.
with the
Mhm.
Ringling Circus. And I wrote another song called Alfredo Cadona about a trapeze artist that she was married to.
Right. Another
You know?
great song.
And that's
Yeah.
And that's, I mean,
Another
some of
great
that
song.
some of that matter is it's dark matter, you know, in a
Yeah, it is.
gypsy jazz way.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I love about
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I like about your music, though. It is kind of, there's a darker
catchy
flavor
tune to it.
but
Yeah.
it's got a beat you can dance to.
Oh, look at Well, actually, Andrew's girlfriend or friend, whatever, Jordan, was saying that the one song that's out now, I can't remember which name of it, but she says it's about a guy who beats on his girlfriend.
Yeah.
She goes, damn these catchy tunes, you know, because you're like, no, wait, what?
What did you say?
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
looking like one of the tunes that I wrote, the listening tree, and the story behind it about getting the story from the actual tree, Andrew's tree, and it's one of the more popular songs apparently with the people out there that are listening. Like Nancy Cook, that's one of her, Scott's wife.
Our
Yeah.
niece,
Our
who's
niece.
like close to Andrew's age, that's her favorite song on the CD.
yeah.
My old manager, he said that was his favorite song. I'm like, really? Oh,
And it's,
okay.
you just never know. Is it
Yeah, you don't know.
is it the minor flavor, is it the darker kind of energy with it, or is it, you just don't know what it is.
Well, it's weird because I've had people tell me, I literally yesterday after a gig, I had somebody tell me that I should try and incorporate more happy, positive stuff. Of course, they saw the last 30 minutes of a 3-hour set and didn't catch everything
right.
that I do, you
Yeah.
know. But they were
You lean across and go.
they're
Slap him.
No, I'm serious. I mean, I took it, I kind of took it with a grain of salt, and some people respond better to certain things. And I tried to explain in my positions, like, when I'm going through something that I'm elated about, I'm not really reflecting on it. I'm going with it. I'm embracing that moment. I'm embracing those feelings.
Yeah.
It's the heavy stuff that weighs on you, that
Yes.
makes you think about your life, that tends to be something that I actually write about. And and those writings, more often than not, will turn into something.
How
But if you look
profound
at
is
the-
that?
yeah.
That was so profound.
Absolutely.
It really was.
We'll be
Because,
playing that back and writing it down.
well, yeah. I mean, what a perfect thing to
James
say,
Dean
that
Johanesen.
when you're in that elated mode, you go with it and you're in that moment
Yeah.
and you ride that beautiful wave. But when you have things that are difficult, it is, and that's really the great way to move through those difficult times.
Yes.
Is like, and that's what you find in a lot of the songs is that kind of.
But if you
stuff.
look at the world's greatest, I'm talking greatest songwriters, I like Bob Dylan, Chris Christopherson, phenomenal songwriter, Glenn Campbell,
Taylor Swift.
Justin Bieber.
Trying to, in case anybody younger is listening. I know
Stay, Dean, stay.
Sean Wise is never going to forgive me for that.
I don't have a problem with Justin Bieber, actually. I really don't.
You know, Martin...
Because
I'm a believer.
He's what? He's 16, 17 years old?
Well, I think he's 18, just turned 18 now.
Okay,
but he was that young.
My thing with him is that, like, if you were that age and you got signed and you were huge and you had, you know, that was the introduction that you had to the business model, you would go with it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
In a heartbeat.
And my thing with him is I've seen video of the kid playing drums. I've seen video of him dancing. I've seen video of, you know, and he sings. And it's like, I don't listen to his stuff. It's not necessarily my thing. But I think he kind of gets a little bit of a bad rap, you know?
Oh,
I
agree.
I might take it for, you know, defending the kid. But he's a kid, man. He's a kid.
But I like him because he does a lot.
If you heard some of the songs I wrote at 16 years old or 18 years old, you'd be like,
really?
Wow.
We were brilliant at that age, Dean. Come on.
But, you know, you're right.
It was terrible.
The kid has got talent, and you're right. And it's exactly like you said, because, you know, when Martin and I have seen him in interviews, he's very gracious. He's very kind.
And he's funny.
He is. He's funny. He doesn't take himself seriously, and he's using his position to do a lot of good. So, yeah, is his music what I would really, I don't go and buy. But I respect him as an artist. I respect that what he does.
I'm not into pop music. I never have been. You know, and it's that kind of genre, and that's fine. All the songs sound the same. They got the same beat behind it.
It'd be cool to see how he develops down the road.
And there's one guy in New York that writes all the music for all the pop singers out there.
Right.
You know,
right. It goes back to the Brill Building songwriters. You know what I mean? Where, like, you know, everybody was writing, like, you had teams of songwriters writing amazing songs and then pitching them out to people.
Well, it's the same thing with comedy writers as well.
And I think that was before more of the singer-songwriter thing actually happened.
Yeah.
And then those people that were actually writing those songs started going, hey,
wait a minute.
I'm going to go play this.
Yeah, because it's almost like it's like giving yourself away, you know, for free, and you realize, hey, I'm writing this crap. I should be doing something with it. But that's like getting back to the greatest singer-songwriters out there.
We're coming close to the end of the show. We only have like 2 or 3 minutes left. I can't believe it. I know. It's like so much more fun having somebody in the studio with us. Yes. So next week, well, we want to get your information. Where can people find you? And I know you're going on tour. Where can they find out about Dean?
You can check out wolabel.com.
Which is WHOA.
WHOA-LABEL.com. And then the Reverb Nation page that I have has got all the dates for the tour, but they're working on the WOA page to have everything all in one spot. But you can find me for now at reverbnation.com/Dean Johanesen. And Johanesen is Johanesen. And then Facebook, you can look me up on Facebook. That's probably one of the better ways. Yeah. Facebook, Twitter, Reverb Nation.
Yeah, you have to do all that now.
Label. Yeah, you got to do it all.
You got to do all that now if you're going to get out there. And then next week...
Anti-social media.
Next week, we're going to have Sharon Elizabeth on from the Cosmic Center of Spiritual Light here in Sarasota. And she took a trip to England in June and about crop circles and fifth dimensional stuff. So it's a lot about things that we're not real familiar with. So... yeah, I'm excited to have her on to ask her a lot of questions. And next week we will make it a call-in show. We were just too busy having fun to take call-ins. If anybody wanted to call in, sorry. But next week definitely we're going to want to take call-ins because I think Sharon Elizabeth will have things that she'll want to share or answer questions. And same thing for you.
Yeah, and everybody sort of that wants to know about our shows, the two places that we send them are Facebook.com/Shift Happens
TV.
Or the front page, Shift Happens TV, or the front page of pureheartspace.com, which we run the archives of the shows and stuff like that, and Dean's information will be there, website information and stuff. So.
Well, this has been so much fun having you here, Dean. Thank you. And I
It's
learned something too. You said some really beautiful things that I think will help shift consciousness
and I like
as well.
hat. I do like that.
So join us next week, next Tuesday with Sharon Elizabeth, and remember to live your life with no regrets.
And die laughing.
Be sure to hop on over to the Spiritual Broadcast Network. It's the go-to place for all things spiritual. You'll discover internet television shows that you won't find anywhere else. You can also choose from hundreds of hours of spiritual documentaries and movies. You'll enjoy on-demand and live internet television programming 24/7. Best of all, we add new dramas, comedies, talk, and reality shows and more on a daily basis. So why spend countless hours searching the web when you can quickly find just what you want on the Spiritual Broadcast Network?